All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to CAGcast episode number 737. I'm your host, GBD, here in Long Island, New York. And as always, we're joined by a man who hopes David Cage moves to China as soon as possible, Wombat.
I feel like that's a reference to something and I don't know what it is.
Oh, you haven't read any of the news in your Wombat's news and stuff?
No, I didn't.
Oh.
I didn't know. I guess we'll get to that.
Well, you're going to get that joke in about 30 minutes.
Awesome. I can't wait. Can I push A for get joke?
You cannot.
Oh.
What's A in Chinese?
I don't know.
You'll find out in 30 minutes.
Wow.
Welcome to the show, everybody.
Hey.
Shipwreck's wearing a shirt that says, "We ain't never," and the rest is cut off, and I'm just dying to know what we ain't never gonna do. And so I would like you to stand up, Shipwreck, so you could satisfy my curiosity. We ain't never gonna change. Oh, that's boring. What's the back say?
There's nothing on the back.
Oh, man.
Completely blank on the back. It's it's a Jason Isbell song.
Oh, okay. I thought I was going to go with the sports thing. I thought it was like a hooday type.
It's one of his first songs that's still popular with the fan base. It was
with the ladies.
It was and the dudes.
Fellas.
It was a drive-by when he was with Drive-By Truckers. It was his first really big hit from them, I guess.
Okay.
So the first song I was actually in the car and it came on the radio and I went, wait a second.
I know that dude.
I recognize this voice.
Right.
So yeah.
So you got a shirt to commemorate that.
I actually, if you can see right behind me, you can see this, there's this
Nintendo Entertainment System
bowling. No, in front of the NES.
The bowling, yes.
The photoelectric bowling.
Uh-huh.
So I got that at a flea market this weekend.
Nice.
And I happened to be wearing another Jason Isbell shirt. I've got a fine collection of Jason.
So you're his hype man.
I am.
Yeah, okay.
And so I got a good deal on the photoelectric bowling because I was wearing an Isbell shirt.
But you dropped the story like, oh, I went to high school with him, right?
Yeah, I went to college. Yeah, I'm like,
sorry, whatever.
He's like, the guy's like, oh, I'm a big Jason Isbell fan. I'm like, oh, that's cool. Like, I actually know him. I went to school with him, friends with him.
I've seen him naked.
And he's like, oh man, that's awesome. And he's like, I've got goosebumps right now. He's like, he's one of my like favorite, like I'm a guitar player and he's one of my favorite singer songwriters. And I'm like, yeah, that's awesome. He's like, he's got a smoking hot wife. I'm like, yeah, Amanda's nice too.
She touched this shirt. Did you know that she touched this shirt? She gave me the shirt that I'm wearing right now.
Did you say you were at their wedding?
I did not. I got my deal on the
give me this bowling shit for free.
Bowling.
I'll let you touch this shirt that Amanda touched. That, you know? Come on. That's funny.
Yeah. So
he's performing in New York like next week, I think.
You should go.
Maybe. But probably not. I don't go anywhere. It's probably too late for me.
I bought tickets to his show like a couple of weeks ago as an anniversary gift for my wife. We're going to see Conan O'Brien live because that's how hip we are.
Nice. Why, is he not hip?
I don't think so. Is that hip?
I think didn't he just sell his podcast for $150 million? I think it's pretty hip.
Yeah. Oh, that
hip.
podcast is pretty good. I mean, not the shit on our own podcast.
$150 million sounds pretty hip to me.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, I'm hip. We're going to see him live.
He relies on guests on his podcast though. We don't stoop to those levels. Like,
right.
Like, here's Jeff Goldblum this week.
Although he does do shows without guests now because he has his, his two sidekicks. Wait a minute, he stole our format.
He's got a lot of shows because it wasn't just one show for 150 million. I think he's got like a whole network of shows.
Yeah, he's got like a whole. There's the Conan.
Where is he performing?
I forgot already. In the city.
Right, someplace nice.
I want to say like the Beacon or something like that.
None of the shitty Long Island places.
No. It's in Manhattan. It's a nice venue.
Someone in the chat wants to know what kind of water I'm drinking. This is tap water. Long Island's finest.
Mm.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Osaka Grandma is here. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a guest. She's actually in her room watching the big Serena Williams match. Naomi Osaka got knocked out last night.
Already?
Yeah, first round till, not good. Maybe she was hurt or something. I don't know. But Serena's like trying to keep it together. She's playing like the number 2 seed right now. So anyway, so we had she's been staying with us for a few weeks, Osaka Grandma, and we actually took her to the same restaurant that we took the shipwrecks to. The
Mexican one?
The Mexican one, where she had her first ever Mexican food. Because Japan.
What did she think? Did she like know what to do with it?
The food?
Well, I just remember back when you were living in Japan, like you talked about like there was like buffets with tacos on them and nachos, yes. And nobody could figure out what they were supposed to be doing with the ingredients.
That was at Sizzler, by the way. Yes, they were putting the noodles in the taco shells. They were making like taco. Yeah. Well, she's sort of a picky eater, and by picky eater I mean like she wants to eat Japanese food, which is whatever, it's fine. So she got something very simple. She got she tried the yellow rice and the consomme soup, like the spicy salty soup.
That's funny. It's funny to me that she went for the rice. Like
she did not like the rice at all.
I know that's not like the same thing.
No. She wanted to try it. She wanted to try it. She had one bite, and that was it, the rice. And then a big bowl of the soup, which she liked a lot. And this is a really authentic place, Wombat. You should go there. It's called El Mercadito. And
I do love a good Mexican restaurant.
It's in Westbury.
That is not a lie.
It's in Westbury, and it's good because you'll be the only
don't feel
whitey.
Comfortable where you park your car.
You won't. You'll be wondering if your Wombat, your car will be fine. Well, maybe not. They're looking for like these catalytic converters now. I saw.
I know. Yeah, and my car is not on the list for catalytic converters.
Okay.
No catalytic converters on Wombat's car.
It's
got raccoons under the hood. Anyway, so she liked the soup, but yeah, you should go to El Mercadito. Where my on Google Maps, my photos are pulling in huge numbers there of the nachos and the tacos.
I don't know. We're like into the Colombian restaurant by us now. That's like our jam.
Sure, but you can go to this place.
I don't know that we have any Colombian restaurants.
You don't.
What's Colombian food?
It's a lot of steak, and it's not too far off from other, south of the border cuisines, but it's a lot of steak and it's a lot of rice and it's a lot plantains.
Okay.
So if you like plantains,
that's what I was picturing.
Yeah.
I was
steak,
picturing some combo between Jamaican and Mexican food.
That's not too far off. It's a lot of steak. It's a lot of rice. It's a lot of plantains. They have that pork belly thing. I don't know if you've ever seen it, where it's like a giant piece of bacon, but it's like cut up a little, but only partially cut up, and it's like a half moon of bacon, but it's gigantic.
Oh, a blooming bacon,
basically. So yeah, Colombian food is pretty good.
And good Colombian place you told me is moving into the old ping pong club space.
Yeah, it's moving into the old Smash building. It's already there.
Right.
It's in it, and they just reopened. That's why we were there.
It's a much better fit for that spot.
Yeah,
and high-end ping pong club.
Mm-hmm. Now it's got a high-end Colombian restaurant.
Right. They got that whole fucking installation for free, basically.
Mm-hmm.
And they could probably have kept one of the ping pong tables too if they wanted.
They
but why
put
bother?
In like a truck with a sign where like kids could sit and take pictures. They know what they're doing there.
Yeah. I'm sure the landlord had to sell those fucking ping pong tables to make out the rent that these guys didn't pay them.
Maybe.
Speaking of ping pong clubs and Google Maps, I got, I told you I took over all the communications for the club. So now I get like, people can message you through Google Maps. They can message your business directly, like instant message. And I got a message from a guy and he was asking me questions about the club and like, what time we're open. Do we sell paddles and stuff? And could he show up for the league? Wombat's already checking his work email. I could see.
No, I'm reading the outline.
Oh, well, that's good.
Yeah.
What was I saying?
Something about Google Maps.
The guy was trying
to
right. Yeah. He was trying to find out about the club, and he's like, "Oh, maybe I'll stop by during the league or something." I'm like, "Yeah, we'll be here till like 10:30 or so, whatever." So I'm doing my thing behind the desk, and a guy shows up who I don't recognize, and I'm like, "Oh, you must be so and so." And he's like, yeah. I go, hey, how you doing? My name's David. And he goes, yeah, I know who you are. And I was like, what? He's like, I'm a big fan. And he like tricked me with his message. Mm-hmm. But anyway, he was good. I hit with him for like 45 minutes, and he was pretty good. He's a volunteer volunteer firefighter, and he said he's the best at his firehouse at table tennis or ping pong.
Oh, they say he's the best at his firehouse at volunteering.
At fighting fires. He's the worst at fighting fires, but he's the best at ping pong. They call him Smokey Joe. No, I don't know. Anyway, so I hit with him for a while, and yeah, it was a lot of fun.
There's Dead Baby Jones, our favorite fireman.
No. Oof.
Did you shoot back with you're the best volunteer ping pong club manager?
Like, wow, we both have volunteer jobs. High five.
Listen. It's true. Like, hey, somebody's got to do it. Otherwise, that thing will not be there.
We've already established that it's cool, and we think you're doing the right thing. I actually went to the new comic book store today for the first time. Speaking of,
wait, there's a new one already in the place of the old one?
Well, the one that I used to go to for 15 years went out of business, so I had to find a new one, and I went to it for the first time today. Last time I couldn't go and pick up the comics. My wife had to go. So this was my first time going, and they were very nice there, and they learned my name fairly quickly. So I don't know. I guess I would volunteer there if it came down to keeping it open or not.
They learned your name fairly quickly. How does that go? Like I walked in.
You
only had to say your name twice, or what?
Basically, I came in and I said, "Oh, I'm here to pick up." And they go, "Oh, what's your name?" And I said, "My name's Stuart. Nice to meet you." And
remember my name.
I stayed there and hung out for a little bit and looked at all the stuff they have. They had a lot of stuff going on, and then he remembered my name on the way out, and he'll remember my name next time. So, that kind of thing.
Awesome.
You got to make yourself known at the comic book store.
Anyway, in talking to the firefighter, it's very interesting to hear what rules people use to play table tennis. Like they won't even be bothered to just go on Google and see what the rules are. So they just make up their own rules about how the serve works. Like, oh, you got to serve in the box, or just completely wrong stuff that you could look up. I thought it was cute. I wasn't. I was laughing actually every time he would tell me the next rule. But I'm gonna try to get some firefighter program going where we get all the guys to come in, and then we teach them how to play properly, and then they can maybe dethrone this guy. Anyway, how about some show feedback?
Sure. Aries Dog had to say, "You guys sounded like old men complaining about violence in movies. This coming from a guy who is the biggest RoboCop fan, an ultra-violent movie that came out when you were in your 20s. Now, what bothers me about this comment is that it assumes that the movies you loved when you were in your 20s are the same movies that you have to love the same type of in your late 40s, as if your tastes in films can't evolve as you get older, and that you would want to seek oh yeah, I really love this movie that I saw when I was 20 years old. I can't wait to watch more of that type of movie now that I'm 45. It's just a silly statement.
Also, RoboCop is not really, first of all, I was 14 when that movie came out. 20s though.
Yeah, it came out in 87, right?
Right. Yeah,
I was 10.
So that level of violence is far surpassed by the latest Game of Thrones series that's out now, where they just, they're going to make you watch a woman have a really bloody childbirth, just really uncomfortable, prolonged, you can't even block it out. They're just going to throw that at you, one of those every week, most likely, at least one. RoboCop was not like that. I mean, yes, it was violent for the time, and but it's a parody of violent movies in a way. The guy's chest exploding in the boardroom with all the bullets. It's funny to a point. The guy's obviously dead, and someone in the background's call an ambulance. The guy was shot 100 times by a fucking robot monster. There's just nothing left. Anyway. He's wrong.
Yep.
My advice would be
Drop it.
Ha ha.
thank you.
Good joke.
Thank you.
And Lorax had to say, he quotes Cheapy who said, "I'd rather these Japanese shows just use subtitles so I can hear the proper Japanese voice acting."
By the way, not
says,
a quote. Not a quote. Go on.
I know. Also, GPD, I can't be bothered to watch films where the actors use the same language with me with an accent, as it is too hard to understand them. There was just a lot of comments on this.
A lot of Edgar Wright fans who don't want to hear anything negative about Edgar Wright.
I don't know if that was it, as much as it was sort of a silly statement. You didn't say you didn't like his movies. You said you didn't like them because you find the accents hard to understand. And I think that's two different things.
Those are two different things. I remember watching those movies with Mrs. Cheapy and definitely like looking over and can see that she was not following what they were saying most of the time. And also not thinking that like, I don't even remember if I know that we didn't get through Hot Fuzz. We like started watching that one. We rented it or something. And for whatever reason, we just stopped watching.
Well, that's why you don't like it. That's a slow burn movie. If you don't watch the end of Hot Fuzz, then you're never going to see. Of course you didn't like it.
I mean, I don't know that I didn't like it or Mrs. Cheapy didn't understand what was going on, with the accents or what. But to compare it to the Japanese thing, like he's like twisting like 5 different things together. He's twisting when I was talking about the Tokyo Vice show and about basically just giving up on a major part of the book, which was like this guy learned Japanese and to fit in. It's completely like just not, I understand people are doing other things while they're listening to the show, so I don't expect them to really be paying attention fully.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
That was it. That's all I had.
Okay.